Shalom. Today I'm going to focus on the rabbinic teachings of the first and second coming of Messiah. What most non-Jewish people of faith are surprised about is the fact that the ancient rabbis taught about two comings of the Messiah. And this teaching helped the non-Jewish believer form the doctrine of the second coming of Messiah in the end days. Let's find out what the Jewish thought is about Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David, or the first and second coming of Messiah. In Jewish eschatology, Messiah ben Joseph is also known as Messiah ben Ephraim, a Mashiach or Messiah from the tribe of Ephraim and a descendant of Joseph. Jewish tradition alludes to four messianic figures called the four craftsmen. Each will be involved in ushering in the messianic age. They are mentioned in the Talmud and the book of Zechariah 1:20-21. Rashi in his commentary on the Talmud gives much more details. Rashi explains that Messiah ben Joseph is called a craftsman because he will help rebuild the temple. The other three are thought to be Messiah ben David, Elijah, and the righteous priest. The roles of the four craftsmen are as follows. Elijah will be the herald of the eschaton. If necessary, Messiah ben Joseph will wage war against the evil forces and die in combat with the enemies of God and Israel. In the Sefer Zerubbabel and later writings, after his death, a period of great calamities will befall Israel. God will then resurrect the dead and usher in the Messianic era of universal peace. The Jewish sages of the first century deny that Yeshua, or Jesus, was the Messiah, for two main reasons listed above. The temple was not physically rebuilt, and there was no universal peace in the world. What the rabbis failed to connect was the new covenant promise made in Jeremiah 31, which stated the new covenant would be built in each person. As history has proven true, there have been great calamities befall against Israel, but because Yeshua did not physically rebuild the temple and bring peace to the world, they denied he was the Messiah ben Joseph they were waiting for. A sentiment reflected in the Song of Solomon when Yeshua the Messiah came to the hearts of his people and they did not answer the knock at the door of their hearts. Song of Songs 5:2-6. I slept, but my heart was awake. Listen, my beloved is knocking. Open to me, my sister, my darling, my dove, my flawless one. My head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of the night. I have taken off my robe, must I put it on again? I have washed my feet, must I soil them again? My beloved thrust his hand through the latch opening. My heart began to pound for him. I arose to open for my beloved, and my hands were dripped with myrrh, my fingers flowing with myrrh on the handles of the boat. I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had left. He was gone. My heart sank at his departure. I looked for him, but did not find him. I called him, but he did not answer. The beloved of Hashem's heart is his people. He came to the doorpost of their hearts, and they were slow to open the door. So Messiah turned and left them. They had missed his coming, and the bride was miserable. This is a perfect picture of Messiah ben Joseph knocking at Israel's heart's door. They did not respond until it was too late, and their eyes became dull and their ears deaf to the bridegroom. Messiah ben David is taught in Rabbinic Judaism as one who will reign as a Jewish king during the period when God will resurrect the dead. Messiah ben David is thought to be a righteous priest in whom the third temple will be built during this era. Rambam writes the following about Messiah ben David. King Messiah will arise in the future and will restore the kingship of David to its ancient condition, to its rule as it was at first. And he will rebuild the temple and gather the exiled of Israel. And in his days all the laws, or Torah, will return as they were in the past. They will offer up sacrifices and will observe the sabbatical year and the Jubilee years with regard to all the commandments stated in the Torah. And he who does not believe in him, or he who does not await his coming, denies not only the other prophets, but also the Torah and Moses our master. For behold, the Torah testifies about him, the Messiah, as it is written. This should sound very familiar to those who have knowledge about the millennial reign. There is a sense of knowledge that a king will reign in the final millennium. Yet where the rabbis are not quite correct, they see him as a human who will be exalted as king of Israel. Those who know Yeshua as Messiah know it will be Messiah Yeshua himself who will reign the millennial kingdom. Rambam has the right idea and put his faith in Torah's revelation of the end-time restoration of Israel, Deuteronomy 33-5. Then the Lord your God will restore your fortunes and have compassion on you and gather you again from all the nations where he scattered you. Even if you have been banished to the most distant land under the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you and bring you back. He will bring you to the land that belonged to your ancestors, and you will take possession of it. He will make you more prosperous and numerous than your ancestors. And finally, Torah points the sages and those who read it to the Messiah in Numbers 24:17. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob. A scepter will rise out of Israel. He will crush the foreheads of Moab, the skulls of all the people of Sheth. It is a mistake to assume the Jewish people have not heard of Messiah before. It has been taught way before modern preachers have taught about him. In fact, all modern biblical scholars learned about Messiah from the Jewish teachings. The problem Jewish people have with Messiah Yeshua is not that a Messiah is coming, but that Yeshua was the Messiah because he did not physically rebuild the temple, he did not usher in world peace, and he did not reestablish his earthly kingdom in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. We Gentiles share much in common with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Shalom.
Let Israel be glad in the Maker. Israel rejoice in the King. Israel be glad in the Maker. Israel rejoice in the King. She'll rejoice when Messiah comes. Dance